Hiya, skanks.
Oh, God.
Here we go. We started. We're rolling. Welcome to another episode of Bunny and the Beast. I am here with the matriarch of mess, Bunny the Twink Slayer. If you've got blonde hair, run away, run quick, run for the hills because she'll be coming to get you. It's Bunny galore.
Thank you very much. Excuse me, they run towards me. Thank you very much. Yeah.
They're probably running away from me to you.
You're not into twinks, are you?
No.
No, they can't reach.
I don't think I have a type. They can't reach. And the Chihuahua tried to get with the Great Dane.
Yeah, literally. Oh my God. Beast, why have you got a stepladder with you? Well, to give them
Just
a
a
fair
little
chance.
box.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I don't think I have a type.
I'm not sure either because I think my Funzy's type is different than my actual boyfriend type.
Oh.
I think my boyfriend type's a bit more. I would probably go with. I normally quite go for like floppy hair and it was that kind of preppy look, glasses, floppy, kind of geeky chicy. I think that kind of thing. I don't go for like uber fashion, like kind of spiky kind of person. It has to be someone that's quite, really beautiful eyes and it's kind of. So they can be brunette. And I've been my last three boyfriends. The last one was blonde, very blonde. The one before that was brunette. The one before it was redhead. So there we go. But that's boyfriend types compared to.
Okay.
I think Funzy's type's a bit different.
Well, if I think about like the people I've dated or the people etc., they've all been completely different. There's never been like a correlated thing going, oh, they've all got blonde hair and blue eyes, or they're all. Yeah, they're all dicks. There's a correlation.
Every fibre of my body was resisting then saying they were all terrible people.
They're not all terrible.
Really?
Thinking.
Ouch,
my head.
Ouch.
Let's not do that.
Aneurysm.
No, but for me, I think my type is someone who I find funny, someone who's kind, someone who's caring, someone who I can be an absolute idiot with. They're like, that's my love language, being an idiot and being silly. I love it.
Maybe that is the secret, actually. It's letting your guard down and them liking you when you let your guard down. Because I think one of the most hurtful things is if you start to, and I've seen this just happen with a friend of mine. You kind of really become yourself, and then it breaks up. It kind of makes it feel like the rejected you, the inner you. I'm a Scorpio. Most
Scorpios are evil.
Yes, they are.
Allegedly.
They are.
I'm a Capricorn, rising Capricorn with my moon in Cancer, which means
my moon's in Cancer too.
Oh.
And what's the other one? The other rising star what's the other terminology?
Rising sign.
Jimmy from your show kind of got me into this because he said about his on the podcast for Game Night. Fun enough,
I've not listened to it.
Because
I took a stand being like, I'll listen to theirs when they listen to mine. So
I told Jimmy don't listen.
A Capricorn rising Capricorn is someone who's bitter. No, it's someone who's incredibly hardworking, grounded, but emotionally unavailable.
Right.
And doesn't like to show their emotions. So if I show my emotions to anyone, it's really big. And because my moon in Cancer, it is.
Wait, what does that mean?
It means you are a sensitive soul.
Right. Okay.
So I'm really emotional and sensitive, but I don't like to express it.
That sounds healthy.
Podcasting is cheaper than therapy.
Yeah, exactly. That does need to be a T-shirt that we do.
A crop top.
The crop top. Of course it will be. There we go. That's your project for this
There we
week.
go. I'll just buy a harness and write glitter on it.
I did this weird gig in Essex a couple of weeks ago where I was interrupting a wedding reception dressed as an irate bride, as Bunny galore.
That's why you were dressed like a bride.
Yes, that's why.
I thought you got married and murdered another husband.
Exactly. No, I've had many husbands, none of my own. And, oh God, I wish that was a joke. It was the strangest thing. But it was like in a tent in the middle of a sports arena type place. So it was maybe a cricketing pavilion type of area.
Okay.
And it was so toasty. It really was. Luckily, I was only doing one number, but I was so dehydrated when I got back home. It was just... Yeah, you go, ooh, I really should drink more water because that's quite dangerous doing things like that.
Oh, well, and also because you're wrapped up in a sofa and nooks and crannies and
it really was as well. I was kind of trust up. The funniest thing was trying to, because I thought, okay, I haven't seen The Room. This is the problem when you're literally doing a surprise thing. You're walking into a room blind, and you kind of want to obviously like play around with the bride and groom, but sort of like for the photographs. I turned around and their table was the size of a small mini roundabout. It was this huge round table covered in ivy with glass things and candles in them, tumblers with, so you couldn't really climb on that very easily.
Oh, that's what I would have done.
Yeah, which is what I thought. Oh, I thought I'd climb on that or sit on the table, but I couldn't get anywhere near them, and also they were so far away. It's like if I sat on the edge of the table, it looked like I was waiting at platform 8 and they were on platform 12. And the biggest problem was they were sitting these two. I mean, this was Essex, so I should know better. Of course, they're going to be on thrones. But they weren't on thrones. They were on these big wicker chairs, like, the 1970s kind of round back chairs you see in films. And it's on the cover of some games and things like that when we were growing up, called Mastermind, I think it was on that. But these were really big, so you couldn't get at them because they were really tight up to the table. So it was like this force field behind them. I kind of had to try and get in between the two chairs, but that was only with boobs over the top of it, so it just looked like I was a chihuahua trying to jump over like a sliding door. It was just like, I mean, thankfully I've not seen any photographs. Oh, and the worst thing was the sound level was like someone whispering.
Was it like West End Live?
No, this was in key.
Oh, shade.
No, I was lip syncing actually, which I never do, and this is why you don't do it, because without a microphone you have no control. Because the sound level was so low, so it just looked like I was like miming along to the radio in the distance.
Probably looked like you're having a stroke.
I think it was.
You probably were having a stroke.
I think people looked. Well, they were enjoying it, but it looked like some deranged mother of the bride that just had a few too many proseccos. And looking around, I think that's pretty accurate.
If I ever get married, I'm booking you for that because that is brilliant. Deranged Mother of the Bride.
Deranged Mother of the Bride, which is kind of my brand, really, isn't it? It is. It is indeed. So that was like
proper desperate Scouse wife, almost. But you're not Scouse.
I'm not Scouse, no. But the eyebrows are close. It was hilarious, but it's just one of those many awkward gigs that I've done over the time, which I'm so used to. And when I was driving to Southend, I suddenly realised I'm actually quite jinxed in Southend because I have done quite a few things there. I've done pantomime there. I've done other gigs there. I've been to see other things there. I've done quite a lot there, all of which have gone slightly off kilter. Yeah. And I was driving there going, this is not going to go to plan, is it? So I'm just going to relax and enjoy it. Also, they paid in cash up front, so I didn't really care by the time I got on stage. So I wasn't, because normally that would really upset me that the sound was rubbish. Yeah. Whether this time I was like, yeah, I still.
It's on brand for Essex.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
we work with it.
Yeah. I remember doing this awful birthday party in Essex where, it was like, oh God, it was feral. Absolute feral.
It was in Essex.
Oh my goodness. And it's the only time I've walked out of a gig. I actually walked out. The microphone was playing up and I used that as an excuse. No, that's it. I'm gone. And talking of feral horror stories, how's your week been?
The most horrifying week ever. No, week's going really well. I can't complain.
How much longer have you got of game night now?
Oh,
do a plug. Come on.
Yes, listeners, I'm in a game.
A game within a game.
No, it's just chocolate. I have 3 weeks left in game night at Wonderville in Piccadilly Circus. So if you are around on Wednesdays and Thursday evenings at 8:00, come see me wear no clothing and get very wet.
Yeah, and shorts this time as well.
Yes. This role is so far away from who I am as a person. It takes every fibre of my being to get into this character, to play a himbo.
You walk on stage, basically. That's it.
I walk on stage, take my top off and sing.
You do sing, yeah.
In a variety of keys. That West End Live is like that.
We're going to go into so much trouble.
But segueing into our theme of the week.
Yes.
So we have done embarrassing dating stories twice. Yeah. This isn't part 3, so listeners, you are saved. God, I sound like Marge Simpson.
No, because Marge is interesting. Carry on.
Fair. Okay.
No, you do sound a bit husky. You do sound a bit
Yeah.
husky. Take a swig of your drink. Well,
Lubricate.
yeah, that's.
Now read that bitch. So when we date, listeners, there are some times when they might want to take their clothes off and get a bit frisky.
They do indeed, yes.
I've heard tales.
I've heard tales, yes.
I've heard tales. I am unsure of what it's like anymore.
Can't remember, darling.
No.
Can't remember. I'm basically Miss Havisham nowadays. Watching Wedding Dress and the cake. Yeah.
I actually think we wear Grey Gardens.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, we are Grey Gardens. You little Edie. Oh my God, you are. Oh my goodness, you are little Edie, and I'm
And you're the
Big
other
Edie. Yeah, the mother.
So the theme of the episode, while Bunny checks into therapy, is embarrassing sex stories.
Yes.
So we have some tales of friends that have confided in us, have been very trustworthy with their story with us. So we're not going to name any names.
No.
Owen.
And
then some of these stories might be ours as well.
Yes, so you have to guess. This is a little game for you, gentle listener, that maybe some of these stories are our own stories.
So to start off, this is going to be very obvious if it's us or not. Because I was once having sex with a girl. On a weekend away in London. It was all going grand when midway through the front door opens and her boyfriend comes home. I had to gather myself and climb out the window, clutching onto a drain pipe as I made it to street level. Horrendous.
Well, that wasn't me.
It might have been me. No, it's never been. It's definitely not me. Not gone near the things.
Gosh. Okay. Right. Well, let me find this one.
Imagine trying to climb down a drain pipe.
Yeah, well, it sounds like that's very rom-com, isn't it? It's like I don't think I've really. If there was a rusty door that was slightly hard to open, I don't think I could bother to do that particularly. Let alone climb down a drain pipe.
Just getting you up and down stairs is hard enough.
Nowadays, ever since did my ankle and going to West End Flea Market, So I have one that could be either of us actually, because this is about a singer.
It's not us.
It's not. Speak for yourself. So the first time I had to give oral sex, I literally said, "It looks like a microphone. Let me sing into it." And they were mortified to this day.
What did they sing?
No, so they were so ashamed they'd come up with such a goofy, silly line.
Oh.
It was like, oh my goodness, that looks like a microphone. Can I sing into it?
I'm going to give my best 16 bars.
Yeah. Isn't it weird that early days of sex as well, when you kind of, I think because you kind of might learn things from porn perhaps, or what you've seen online. Probably that's worse now, is it? Because porn's on Twitter.
I don't know. I don't go on the thing.
Yeah. Sure, Jan. What is your Twitter account? Power bottom.
I'm not rising to this. High ground, taking it.
Yeah,
You dumb old bitch.
Anyway, so if you want his OnlyFans, I will give it out if you.
It doesn't exist.
It
doesn't exist.
Send me a message on Instagram. I will give you. You got very red. Did you close the account down?
It was just very warm. It had no subscribers. I lost money.
I'm not that keen on people talking during sex. Are you? I think it kind of works in America because that sounds sexy. Maybe Germany, but
not Scunthorpe.
But not.
I don't know why that's the first place that came to my head.
Yeah, but it doesn't sound quite the same, does it?
Also, I think we're trying to recreate porn. Porn is like sex Olympics. So you wouldn't try and recreate the real Olympics in your day-to-day life. So why are you trying to recreate one that's fake anyway?
Love that analogy.
Porn is sex Olympics.
Sex is like the Olympics.
It's like a box of chocolates. You don't know which one you're going to get.
Oh, the amount of chocolate stories. I'm using that as a euphemism term for something else that I've read about. It's like, oh my goodness.
Okay. Oh, so are we going to clarify that we're going to use chocolate for that?
Yes, let's use the word
okay.
chocolate. Yeah.
And then for other things, what do we clarify?
What else are you going to talk about?
Red Bull.
Red Bull. Ew.
Chardonnay.
I actually clutched my pearls then at the thought of that. Chardonnay.
You love a pearl necklace.
Yes, I do, by the way. Right, okay, so far away, darling. What have you got next?
I was once getting ahead on a hookup. The guy was teasing the head of my dick a bit too much. I felt like something was going to happen. Well, it turns out I didn't.
How can I put this? Evacuate.
Cream.
Oh, right, okay. Cream.
Turns out I didn't cream. I accidentally Red Bulled straight into his mouth.
Accidentally? That's a very different feeling, surely.
Let's ask this person.
Unless you're kind of... Because to do it when you're hard is a bit hard.
Red Bull while you're hard.
Red Bull right. Red Bull right.
Another name for a t-shirt.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Here we go. Coin
Exactly,
the term.
yeah.
Is
Write it down.
a feet and a half.
Yes. Because that's going to be like phoom, everywhere. It's going to be like champagne cork going off.
Oh, God.
Poof, everywhere.
Oh, no.
All over the eider down.
Oh, gosh. And the white company bedding. These stories, this is not shaming at all because sex happens. We have
things happen,
have occupational hazards. Especially if you're a gay man, occupational hazards are a thing. Or if you're into that sort of thing. It's your new favourite term, isn't it?
I know. I can't wait to say that at Christmas.
So it's a celebration of that this happens to a lot of people. Sometimes me and Bunny.
Sometimes
you should find out who.
Yeah, it's fine too. Okay, next story. Are you sitting comfortably? Because you won't be after this.
Oh, God.
So, I was working backstage on a play when at the after party, I got a bit too tipsy, lost my group, and started talking to a guy about what we were wearing matching shirts.
Wait, this sounds like me.
Exactly. I'm thinking, my name is... well, funny enough about names. He started making out and led me behind a tree. I guess that means maybe a fake tree, unless it's an outside theatre, perhaps, where he got this person's telling the story, got his first blowjob. He then started having full sex in the parking garage of the theatre. Oh, they did go outside parking, and then he called me Ryan twice, and this is someone called Kevin. So it was the wrong name. So at what point would you go, tap, 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 actually my name's Kevin?
Oh, my God. Very awkward baked potatoes. Speaking of awkward baked potatoes, my ex-boyfriend took me on a holiday to Thailand.
Okay.
Lovely.
Lovely.
The first night in the hotel, we were getting heated, and then he was on his back and whacked his legs over his head and accidentally chocolated all over the bed. He then broke up with me on the plane home, and I had to repay him thousands of pounds for the trip.
All that for a Kit Kat. Oh,
All that for a Kit Kat.
Oh, wow.
Just imagine going, bang.
It's like the key change in I Always Love You.
Yes. And they didn't because they broke up on the plane home. But then imagine sharing a 13-hour flight with someone who just broke up with you.
Yeah. Oh, that's harsh. That's really harsh. Yeah, you would try and get your way. Well, sometimes you just got to do those things, haven't you? Have you ever broken up with somebody when you had to wait like that?
No, I don't think I have.
I think if someone's away, I've had this happen before. When someone's away, you've had to kind of wait to have that conversation, but it's not like it, which makes it because they're in another country or they're in another part of the country, so you've got to have that. And what I find is sleeping with their best friend in the meantime really helps.
Or their dad.
Enough about us.
And on to someone who's definitely not us. I went on a few dates with a girl, and her biggest flex was that she was a huge squirter. We started having sex, and she said she was going to squirt on me.
Wow, okay.
She didn't squirt on me.
Uh-oh.
She just Red Bulled directly onto me.
Wow.
And we never saw each other again.
Oh, right, okay. I wonder what the end of the... And we were happily married.
And then we moved in together the next day.
And we loved it. I
don't know what I don't know what that's like. It's a different ball game. It's a different language to me. So
some people produce a lot of stuff. I think if I'm ladies, I've heard. I've seen documentaries. I think they do. There's quite, but obviously That's a different ball game. Obviously, that's the different.
But imagine that being like, that my talent is this, and it's not your talent whatsoever.
I lived with a girl once who was very talented with I can't think of any way to say this, but farting from her front bottom.
What?
So-
Oh, she could queef.
Yes, she agreed. In time to music and on demand. Yes, very
Let's get
clever.
her on the
Yeah.
podcast.
Well,
That's amazing.
she's had about 2 kids since then, and I don't think that's it's probably not.
She's lost that skill.
Yeah, she's lost that talent now. Probably.
Oh my days.
I've not asked her that. Actually, I must say, is it still a thing?
Send her a message now. Can you still queef?
Send. Oh, right, okay. So I've got, my next one is, so the first time I ever had sex with somebody, we went down to the beach near where I lived and had sex in one of the beach huts, which was along the beachfront.
Okay.
It was great fun. It was already, I think, broken into already. It wasn't like they broke in. And it was, had a great time. It was the first ever time. Until my parents decided to move to the beachfront a couple of years later and overlooking that exact beach hut. So every day you'd see the beach hut. I never told them the story, but I would just giggle to myself every time I would see the beach hut. I don't think I would share things like that with my parents particularly.
I was just about to ask. I've never told my parents that side of my life because I think they disown me. But I know some people do have really good relationships with their parents in the way they feel comfortable to share those stories.
Yeah.
I would not be.
No, I didn't really. I didn't really ever feel like I could tell my parents that. If my father had been around for longer, perhaps when I more into my 20s, I think he died when I was 21. So I came out when I was 18, 19, which, believe me, in 1989, 1990 is like the dark ages, obviously, and the height of the AIDS crisis. Super fun for my parents.
It was the dark ages because I wasn't born then.
I know it was. Yeah, it was the dark ages.
And then I was born
And
and
you were born, and then
the dark ages got darker.
you beat me to it.
See, I can read your mind now. It's what happens when I've got a lot of empty space of my own.
You are the empty vase. You really are.
Yeah, okay. I'm not going to die on that hill because knowing me, I'd probably break said vase. falling over.
That vase is filled occasionally.
Not with chocolate or Red Bull.
Oh, my.
Ew, ew, ew.
Oh, gosh. Anyway, so, do you have any more?
Oh, I've got a couple.
Oh, have you now?
Oh, so I had a regular fun buddy who came over. He told me he was out the night before and was feeling a bit fragile, but we decided to mess around and he started to give me head.
Mm-hmm.
He got a bit too enthusiastic and it went a bit too deep and he heard him gag and then he threw up all over him.
Oh, God.
And he had to clasp his legs together to make sure no vomit went onto the bedspread. Are you okay there?
I don't like that. I felt sick. I don't like that. Yeah, throw up stories are not good.
If someone throws up, I'll throw up.
Same.
It'll be like, bleh.
Yeah, so I find that weird because I don't know, it's like sexy.
Oh no, but accidental vomit. Is there such a thing?
Is accidental
That doesn't sound like it. To me, that doesn't sound like a kink. I don't think I have kinks.
You're 29 and vanilla. Yes, of course you don't have kinks. Yes.
Vanilla?
Yes.
I don't even know her.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say I'm vanilla.
Yes, you are.
All right, funny galore over there.
I was going to say beige, but we can.
Okay, can I finish my story? I don't think I'm a person that has kinks, but if I'm really connected with someone and with them for a long period of time, it's just a level of comfort where
You do the things they like.
yeah,
You
and
do
I'd be
like,
like, oh, okay, I don't know if I like that. So I'm a person like, I'll try it.
Yeah.
And if I don't like it, I don't like it. But I think my kink is if something really gets my partner off, that gets me off at the same time. So I'm like,
totally.
your reaction to that is
Yeah.
what makes me really
Totally.
up for it.
Yeah.
But the 4 things that I like are my vetoes are blood,
Yeah.
Red Bull, chocolate, and pain.
Yeah. Same.
The
Same.
4 things that obviously for occupational hazards you can't always avoid, but those are 4 things I never seek out when getting physical.
Yeah, same here. And by the way, I am teasing you by saying you vanilla at 29. So was I. I was totally vanilla at that point. And I've done.
This is not you taking it back, though.
Oh, I'm not taking it back. But no, I was the same at that point. And I have done stuff since. I don't find that is all those four on my list of no-nos. And most of the other stuff, though, I do find a bit like, well, I dress up for a living on stage. It's like, I don't want to make sex like homework. It's like, that sounds like too much like hard work.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, it should be, organic and natural and funsies. And yes, but I would, bits and pieces that you do with your partner and things like that is, that they like.
Oh, yeah.
But like anything where it involves equipment, I think is when it starts getting a bit like,
okay.
This is like work now.
This is a full-time operation now.
It stops. It's like butlers. It's like organised fun. I don't find organised fun interesting.
Fair enough. I have two more stories.
It's okay, Tom.
Do you have any more stories?
I don't actually. Yes, one of those stories was one of my own stories as well.
Oh, okay. So, dear Dad. Oh no, there is a story that I have that I haven't put into this.
Oh, okay.
It was from my straight days. That 1 week of my life. I was once dating someone at the time we were using, and when we were having sex, we were using a thing called stimulating lube. That was just to make
the tingly stuff.
Yes, the tingly stuff, tingly lube. That's like to make you tingle and tease you and make you feel a bit more.
Is this a male and female couple or
male?
Male. That I don't think it really worked for them. I think it's much more.
It might have been straight person lube.
Right. No, that's what I mean, because I think it's probably more beneficial for a straight.
It's before the days of people knowing what liquid silk and.
Right. Okay.
Oh, the horrible lube name that my friend told me about, Boy Butter.
Oh my God! No, that's an American. That's an American one. There's adverts for it on in between Drag Race in America.
Oh my God! Like just the name is like
Boy butter,
no.
And it was boys churning. Like churning butter. That was the advert. It was quite a thing. This is pre-pandemic. It's like season 9 or 10, I think it was.
Okay.
Vividly, it was stuck in my mind.
I'm scarred.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm vanilla.
Yes, you are.
You're like. She's very brave. She's very brave today.
Facts are facts.
So we were using stimulating lube until we noticed it was out of date.
Right.
And we were both burning in places we should never be burning. Yeah. Luckily, just a shower was enough to just get rid of it. So no trip to A&E was required.
Apparently, what's that story from Rocky Horror with the guy playing Rocky? He was straight and he was having sex. I think it was down in Brighton. And he got glitter stuck down. Glitter's quite bad. Glitter gets everywhere. Sellotape is your friend. And he got it stuck down the end of his penis and ended up in A&E.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know. I do think that might be a theatrical urban legend slightly. It's a bit like the...
Well, it's like the story that everyone had at secondary school was the girl that put Starbursts up herself. She put 2 Starbursts up herself and her boyfriend ate her out and he found 3 Starburst. She's like, there was only 2 and it turns out he ate a genital wart.
Oh,
that was like,
what? I'm not at the end of that's not how the story normally ends.
That is how the story. So when I was at secondary school, that is how the story ended.
What school did you go to?
A very questionable school where you could write a sitcom about it, about the shenanigans that went on in that school. Half of them by myself.
Do you ever hear? Right, actually, we need to talk about this for ages. Talking about stories from school was a sex talk. But do you know the urban legend about Richard Gere in the 80s?
Oh, they put a mouse up himself.
Yeah, the sort of
gerbil,
something like that, a clear plastic tube. And I think it's been different people for the years. But during the 80s, it was Richard Gere. During a sex educational talk by someone, I don't think it was even one of our teachers, but someone came in to a full-on assembly, a sex educational talk. When you think of, just saying that out loud now sounds weird, doesn't it? Mixed boys and girls. Someone asked, stupid idiot talk about gay sex, so they'd ask a question about gay sex.
That was also the time Section 28, though.
Yes, and the guy started telling the story, going, "Well, we all know about the Pet Shop Boys and where they got their name from." And he told that story. When I think about the homophobia, it just makes me so angry.
Yeah,
I don't think I've said that story out loud. That was a serious sex educational talk by a professional. Isn't that mad?
Let that be a notice to people as to why pride is still important, why we still need it,
and why you should burn flags in your
no,
garden.
Shouldn't, especially from average actors who are even worse politicians, if you can use that term. But one more story.
One more story.
This is a virginity story.
It's definitely not you.
What's that?
What's that?
I only know virgin cocktails.
Yeah.
Even then, I don't have those. The night I lost my virginity,
Right.
I was at a house party. I was 18, so in that time was probably a late bloomer. So I started kissing this guy that I met that night. Before I knew it, we were out of the house, around a back alley, and we were having sex. This was this person's first time.
Right.
Very in the moment and really enjoying it, lots of fun, until the police drove past and stopped. They got out, they took our details, and luckily they never heard anything from them. But imagine, first time you're having sex, the police stop you and take your details.
Wow. Well, again, comedy story now, 40 years, 40, well, no, if that was the 1960s.
You'd been in prison.
You'd be in prison. I mean, I'm pretty sure outside sex is probably still
illegal.
It's illegal anyway. But yeah, it would be a lot more serious, wouldn't it? Isn't that weird?
So,
Yes,
to finish
darling.
up, Bunny, if you were an inanimate object in the Beast Castle today, what would you be and why?
I think today, because we've been talking about sexy things, I'm going to be the drawer next to the bed.
The bottom one.
Yeah, the top one, thank you. You're the bottom one.
I'm the middle drawer, okay?
You're the side. You're the side.
I only learned that term a year
me
ago.
too, side.
And the object I would be, I think I'd be a shower because I feel like I need one after that.
I'll take you down to the courtyard and hose you down.
So listeners, you just got to guess which stories were mine and which stories were Bunny's and which
Ooh.
might have just been completely fabricated.
Yeah.
Ooh, the mystery continues. The mystery starts and ends here. But yes, thank you for listening. If you have any questions, queries, concerns, complaints, send them into bunnythebeast69@gmail.com. And you can also message us on Instagram. And from me, The Beast, and from
Bunny Galore, the queen of the cult movies. We'll see you next time.